Begin this newspaper reviews this morning with the head strategy and public affairs of Nairametrics, Uade Ahimie. Good morning, Uade. Good to have you.
Good morning, Olive.
Good morning, Joe.
Thanks.
Good morning, Benga. You were not here last time. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Great to have you here. Let's go to the Guardian newspaper and start with the big story, and I'll have you speak on that. Road tax scheme stalls after delivering 2.6 trillion naira projects. You can see here there's a picture that says Nigeria's road tax credit scheme with 2.6 trillion naira plus already spent. Over 3 trillion naira worth of projects remain stalled. You can see the approvals here, the bodies involved. But let's start with it. Let's have you speak to it.
So this was a scheme that was put together by the former president in 2019.
All right. In 2019?
In 2019, when he signed an executive order so that corporate organizations could work with the government towards providing, whether it was road maintenance or building new roads and construction, in favor of them getting some tax credit. The scheme started thereabouts, and then with COVID, a number of things came in. So what then happened was.
Yeah. Okay. So the scheme.
So what then happened was over the last 8 years.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Over the last 8 years. Okay.
Let me even just before you go ahead with that, let me just look at here. You can see the Dangote Group. There's 331 billion naira portion to Dangote Group. BUA Group, 415 billion naira approvals. NNPC, we can see 1.7 trillion naira disbursed within 16 months. And other participants, we can see NLNG, MTN, Access Bank, GZI Industries. We can also see here the number of roads listed under that scheme. There's 5,075.4 kilometer plus of roads listed under that scheme. And now we're hearing that Nigeria needs $120 billion to rehabilitate the federal road network. Interesting. All right. So do you want to still pick up from that, or would you like us to go to another one?
Okay, so let me try and run through that.
Okay.
So the government was going to agree with some companies to fund road construction, either new roads or rehabilitate them, and they were all in different parts of the country. And you've mentioned some of these companies. The expectation was 3 trillion naira spent in terms of road construction or rehabilitation every year over a 10-year period. But what has happened over the last 7-8 years is about 2.7 or 2.6 trillion has been spent so far. We haven't even we've done maybe just about 50%. The quality of roads, complaints have been here and there about the quality, community issues with those who are providing that service. NNPC was the biggest beneficiary, and earlier this year they withdrew from that. Why? Because they said the PIA doesn't allow them to do that, and they had to face their core businesses. Now, my challenge with that, and when I went through the story, was quite interesting. It was an executive order. You agree with companies to fund road construction. You agreed the different parts of a country, but there was really no proper framework of how do you do that? How much tax credit were you going to get at every point in time? You just said, oh, let's go ahead and do this.
Right.
They've spent about 2.7 trillion, about 2.6 trillion. What was meant to be about 3 trillion spent every year, we've only spent 2.7 trillion. About 3 trillion of the roads that currently have been spent on are not done. So you already have that gap. You get? So what was the framework? And these are the complaints by many of the analysts who looked at it. What's the framework? One, what's the tax credit system that you're going to take back? It was based on the cost, and then you take that out from tax payments to government. In my own opinion, what I think government should always do when you have this kind of things is it should be clear. Are you with me? So if I spend 2 trillion, and over how many years do I take that tax credit? Nobody says anything. This is 8 years down the line, 10-year program, and we've not even completed the first part of 5,074 kilometers of road. We've only spent 2.7 trillion. We require another 3 trillion to complete the ones that have just been done up to a point. And there are complaints, poor work, poor supervision, community issues, because even when you're doing these things, what did you sit everybody down? The Ministry of Works, the state governments are complaining that it's only about they're using federation money to fix only the federal roads. What about the state roads? So when and these are the things that we always talk about when we analyze all these issues about government going into business, not going into transactions with the private sector. I have no problems with that, but there must be clear frameworks. There must be clear deliverables. There must be clear contractual agreements. But nobody seems to know. NNPC is the biggest spender among. They spend close to 60 or 70% of the money that have been spent from their tax credit. And that's why NNPC will come back to the federal government and say, oh, all the tax that we're supposed to pay to you, there's nothing. If you used it to rehabilitate roads that have not been completed, and they say the jobs are shoddy, then we have a major problem. And these are the challenges that we continue to face. Although the minister has said, oh, the president says there should be a review and look for alternative ways of financing. Now you're going to go back and say, oh, maybe we will try the PPP, that's the public-private partnership route. But what has happened to all the monies and the so-called tax that has been claimed back by these organizations? The cost itself, are they justified?
All right. Okay, I'm trying to see if we can lump in as much conversation as we can within the limited time that we have. Still on the front page, I want you to speak about the TCAD 9 unmanned boot saga. It's become an issue. Presidency, look at how it's reported. They said Presidency downplays outrage as Tinubu demands UN reform. So let's talk about the outrage. Do you think that it was much ado about nothing?
Well, I do believe that Nigeria does require high levels of investment. That's my belief. However, with the happenings in the country, sometimes I wonder why those are of priority. One, yesterday, over the last 48 hours, about 57 people have been killed in Katsina. One, security issues. So you go to Japan and you sit down in these meetings and we talk and you say, oh, investments are going to come and so on. A country that doesn't have the right security architecture and the right security apparatus, and people, even the Nigerians themselves that are going to work for all these companies, for all these investors that bring in their money, are not safe to go to work, then there is a problem. Are they going to bring in those investments? So that's why there's this outrage that you carry a large number of government officials, monies that are not very available. We're complaining that Nigerians should tighten their belt. It's also in the news that you want to increase the salaries of the executive and the legislature, the executive arm of government, that the president earns only 1.5 million monthly. Ministers earn less than 1 million. And if you don't increase that salary, but Nigerians are tightening their belt. Minimum wage is 70,000. They can't even buy half a bag of rice and beans to feed themselves. And then we go on all these tirades of saying, oh, it's to seek investment. Close to the trips that the president has gone, I don't know what the cost has come to, are you with me? But it's in billions of naira. But how much in comparison have we really received in terms of investments into the country? 2 weeks ago, we were reading in the dailies, and Punch to be specific, over almost R1 trillion of investments have been moved out from the capital market. And these are questions that we're asking ourselves. Is it that investors are just playing short time and, they were playing a lot around the treasury bills, short term, make money, move on, and so on? And is that the kind of short-termism that we want to play out? And this is what I see. So we've gone to Japan again and we're saying, oh, we're going to seek investment for Japan. I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago. Japan extended, I think, $120 million in terms of loans to us, specifically towards building sustainability or sustainable infrastructure, solar and things like that. And at the end of the day, what happens? They just couldn't lay down what exactly that money was going to be used for. And that was where the issues came in terms of the final disbursement.
And also on the front page, just quickly, for basketball lovers, The Tigers.
I was trying not to bring that story because
very sad story. They lost.
Why?
They lost to Senegal. But I mean, look at the flip side of it. Yeah, was in the
Tigers. The Tigers.
The Tigers. Yes. Yeah. They lost to Senegal, so they are out of the AfroBasket tournament. Very sad and depressing news. But the good news is we save ourselves $100,000 for each.
I can imagine somebody in the Presidency.
Well, the Tigers haven't really been fantastic, so.
No, I can imagine somebody in the Presidency jumping like, yes, no more
save money.
What is good for the...
Because if Tigers had won, good for what is good for Tigers
is good for the
Tigers. Anyway, let's move to our next paper. There's so many stories, but let's quickly see how many we can take. On the Vanguard newspaper, you have spoken to the anger over planned pay rise for political office holders by RMAFC. Rep Summon 11 disclosed about 2.6 trillion naira debt owed federal government. Let's talk about the assault on NYSC member. Governor Soludo has sacked the vigilante operatives involved. So the members of the Agune Chamber, we saw the video of how they beat this girl, stripped her naked, something that happened on 23rd of July. It hit social media 2 days ago, went viral, and now they've acted. What does this tell you? And what I'm asking is because I'm a bit concerned about why it took social media
to get the attention of the government. Yesterday, Joe mentioned the NYSC and how the NYSC was very quick to jump and criticize Rai publicly. But now one of theirs was assaulted and treated like a hardened criminal. Even a hardened criminal does not deserve to be treated like this. They have rights.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that, over years has become the norm in Nigeria is people wanting to be in uniforms and believing that once I'm in uniform, I'm superior to the next person who is not wearing a uniform. And these are the things that are happening. And I have no problem with you trying to deal with security situations, but there should be rules and regulations. There should be proper procedures and processes in terms of when you are trying to find out things about, oh, who are you, where are you from, show me some form of identification. You don't just judge and conclude, but sometimes you really can't blame them. Why? Because when you look at the national security system itself, it's the same manner and ways. And in my own opinion, it's because of so many years of...
It's a hangover of military.
Yes, it's a hangover of military rule. So everybody just believes that once I'm in uniform...
Might is right.
Yes, I'm the one. Like, if I say, you don't say anything, and it's wrong. Well, now what the governor has done, he has sacked what's it called? This just sacked the whole vigilante system.
No, just those who were...
Those who were there. So is it just sacking them? Are you going to...
No, he's said the police should prosecute them.
Are you going to take them through due process? And they need to be transparent about it. So it's not just say, the police will prosecute them. We've heard so many times the police will prosecute, and at the end of the day,
nothing
you never get to court. You don't even see the charge sheet, not to talk about, hearing from a judge. So I think he should follow up on this. If it's not him, a member of his team who would make sure that this is done and find out the truth about it, And if there were other things that happened, you can also say, oh, maybe because it's on social media. I don't always say because it's on social media doesn't mean something didn't happen. Let's find out the root cause of it.
Do you think if the video did not make its way to social media, do you think the governor would have done it?
No, I don't think anything would have happened. It's just another, it would have just been another incident of a youth copper was beaten, and then some people will say it and they say, oh, what did she do? She must have done something wrong. They can be rude, they can be that. But that's it. But now that it was on social media.
Social media.
Absolutely.
That's the power of vision, yeah. I agree with you.
Okay, let's quickly run to the Punch newspaper and take this big story. 2027 showdown. Wike Makinde rift threatens high-stakes PDP convention. PDP vows tough action as Wike and associates move against convention. NEC members kick.
There were bodies in the
What
G5.
happened
Exactly.
that allowed these two people who were once friends and allies now become on the opposite sides of the divide? Reminds me of a Yoruba adage that says, Ogun adiye on the shirefo ogun odun. Did I say that correctly?
Fantastic. Why didn't you drop your video for Isheshe Day yesterday? New Central was compiling Yoruba proverbs.
And I wish they came to me because I just a distraction from newspaper headlines. Things are too serious. Wow, anyway, impressive. I have to drop my own.
You will drop your own. Let me tell you why I use that program.
When you guys are done, let me know.
Why I use that program is to Makinde. Why? Because Wike's angst is this. They have had a Congress and officials have been nominated. In line with the rules of the PDP, it should have been held in the South-South, and it was held in Calabar. So any other thing that they want to do outside of that, to nominate or to appoint or to elect any other person, then he is ready for the showdown. That's the long and short of it. And of course, yes, allies, and that's politics.
But will it threaten the convention?
Eh?
The success of the convention is at stake with this rift going on.
Oh yes, it could be at stake because and trusting Wike, the first thing is to go to court. And that's where he usually starts from with all these things. Before he starts he first goes to court and gets a court order. And yes, he would probably threaten it because he says that the convention has been held in Calabar, that the vice chairman of the South-South, who I can't remember his name, just reading through the article, that the chairman or the so-called chairman of the South-East has been suspended from the PDP, so he doesn't understand why he's part of the people who are signing. So these are, is the typical PDP way. You don't follow, when you follow the rules, you follow the rules, they say no. You don't follow the rules, they say no. So
we thought that with the exit of former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, peace would have returned to the PDP.
Well, the peace will not come to PDP until Wike wants to be in total control of the PDP. And the reasons, I don't know his reasons, but in my own opinion, I think it's because of the way he is now. He's, what's it called? His head is resting on one bed, and his leg is lying on another. I don't know how you want to call it.
PDP affair. However, there's also rumors, which of course have proven to be true, that the governor is also looking to
become presidential nomination for the PDP. So he wants to bring it closer.
I mean, we've had people on this show throw their support behind him. When we had, I've forgotten his name now, from the PDP chieftain here, talk about him pushing him forward. I want to quickly touch on this, if we can. Royal Rumble. Alafin may publish Supreme Court ruling after 48-hour ultimatum. I don't know if you've been following this story. So the Alafin had the Oni of Ife. Alafin only gives someone a chieftaincy title, a Yoruba-wide chieftaincy title. Alafin says it's not within your power to give them.
You can give title in Ile-Ife and Modarike.
Alafin. So the Alafin now says you can't do that. There's a court ruling that says that the Alafin, is the only one that has the power to give Yoruba chieftaincy titles.
So kings have gone to court.
So now, in response to this, his representative says we can't answer him. Like, he refused to answer. I said we can't dignify the undignifiable.
I mean, that's terrible.
And they gave him 48 hours. 48 hours ultimatum. Now,
what's your take on this Royal Rumble?
Well, I'm trying to see if I can juggle my head for the history of what's it called. But nothing seems to come to me. Maybe next week I will do a better research.
Let me ask a question.
I will come out and say who is senior. Who
should they go to court?
I mean,
who's going to be the judge?
They are bound by the constitutions of Nigeria.
What judge would handle the case?
Because
it's just a rhetorical question.
No. But the truth of it is, you will go to the state high court.
And are they going to address the judge as
Your Honor?
My Lord?
No, Your Honor.
King.
Your Honor.
Is there representatives that will even go to court?
And is there lawyers that will go to court?
For all those who are wondering, you've gotten your answers.
But I will try and find out
that's an interesting
from history.
I think they should also look at alternative dispute resolution.
That's the best.
It doesn't argue well for traditional rulers of that class to be, fighting on pages of social media and going to court. They should talking over a bottle of schnapps.
Well, if you also remember that the king doesn't dance naked in the market, but I can't remember the last time that you had a king that doesn't really dance naked in the market in Nigeria.
There was a king that engaged in fisticuff with one of his chiefs.
No, so that's what I'm saying. In the last... So, so when you look at it, aside from some of the old monarchs that are passing on, in the last 20, 25 years, I can barely count on my fingertips the number of kings that don't dance naked in the market square.
That still hold the institution to high authority.
That don't dance naked in the market square. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's look at one last story.
Oliver, you from the
recapitalization.
Yes, I am.
Recapitalization.
I'll tell you about
Banks
that later.
to gain extra 900 billion naira in 2025.
To gain 900 billion naira?
Yes. On the front page of the Punch. Recapitalization, banks to gain extra 900 billion naira capital in 2025. That's one story that we could look at. And then this one, NBA report, Adeleke demands federal government unblock Osun's allocation.
Local government allocations.
Local government allocations.
Yes.
Well, on the front page of the Punch,
it's the local
government.
Yeah, it says they should unblock it. And then again, 179 ASPs disqualified as police promotes 952 officers.
Well, so let me start with the police quickly. They usually go through an exam.
Just take only that. Go on.
They usually go through an exam, so I guess they would have been disqualified if they didn't pass those exams. That I can't say. So you don't move to the next rank without going through some exams.
Do you understand the sort of things they will be testing for in these exams? Because we often think promotion is automatic with the years you spend in service.
No, not in the civil service. There are some, I don't have the clear details,
yes,
but there are exams that you write in the civil service for you to get promoted. It's not just about what you call it's not just about the number of years you spend. So you find out that some people enter the force at the same time. Some will move faster because they are fast, they are sharper, they've shown more dexterity and they've passed their exams faster. Some will take 2 times to pass the exams, you know. And then if by the last time you don't pass it, so there are some requirements in the civil service codes that apply. Whether they apply them fully, yes, I don't know, but I know that those things are done on a regular basis. The other one was, I can't speak to that 900 billion because I don't have the details.
Yeah.
And I need to be honest with you, so I have to find out what those details are. I really don't have those details off the top of my head.
Okay, this is where we wrap up today's newspaper review and today's show. Thank you very much for joining us. In response to the question that you asked me, if I am from a royal family, as a matter of fact, I am from a royal family. I am a princess in my kingdom.
Okay.
Why? My father is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
Okay, thank you for that. And in the spirit of Visheshe Day that was celebrated yesterday, you guys refused to let me say my proverb. I want to say it now.
Please say your proverb.
I don't have the direct translation in Yoruba, so I'm going to say it in English. You can translate. No matter how much of press up a lizard does, the crocodile is still his father. That's all. Goodbye.
Then a final proverb. No matter how much you vex, your anger no fit grind beans.
You are a wise one.
Thank you.
Joe, thanks for coming, right?
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Joe is the matured one on the show.
Thanks for watching.
Mr. Maturity.
Maturity, no
thank you so much. Thank you.
See you tomorrow, guys.